Hey guys, good morning. Eric here with driverlineup.com, world's okayest steering wheel holder. Giving you a morning update. The driver who came and repowered us last night, I'm sitting there cranking the landing gear down to get out from under the trailer. I just woke up, by the way. And he said, so what happened? And I started explaining the headlight issue to him. He goes, are you the driver lineup guy? I said, yeah, driver lineup. He's like, oh yeah, I like some of your videos. I'm a subscriber. He's cracking up. I asked him what his name was. He said Mike. So Mike, told you last night I'd give you a shout out in today's videos. So thank you for repowering us. He ended up getting a great load because that was a $3 a mile load. He hated losing that load. Hated it. So we're about to get rolling here. We're just waiting for the sun to come up so we can drive without headlights on. He actually repowered us with a loaded trailer that we now have to take up to Lafayette, Indiana, so that it can be repowered, because it's due at 2000 tonight, which means it'll have to be driven for a couple hours at dark, and we can't drive at night right now. So actually end up getting 2 repowers. Anyway, I want to make this video real quick though, because I'm realizing that a lot of my subscribers, through comments and text messages and stuff that we're getting, a lot of my subscribers are going through training right now, or about to come to Prime, going through the process of starting to get ready to come to Prime. And you see some of my videos, you might be a little bit panicked. Well, YouTube's a bit of a journey for me, because I'm realizing, I'm learning that you don't really get to kind of put the full story in these videos sometimes. It's easy to be taken out of context, or it's easy to not get the full context when you're only watching like 15 or 16 minutes, you know what I mean? And I like to share some drama with you guys. And honestly, that's what you like. That's why we watch YouTube. That's why we watch videos, you know. We want to get the dramatic story. I mean, I'm not being overly dramatic. We're just sharing with you guys what we're going through out here. I've said from the beginning, we want to be very honest and transparent about what this journey is for us. So I'm not being overly dramatic, but you know, it is a little dramatic when you're just saying, oh, you know, we're broke down, we're getting repowered, got this headlight issue, this sucks. It does suck. But you also, like, if I could talk to you on the phone for an hour, you would have a different perspective versus if you just watch a 16 or 17 minute video. And sometimes that bothers me, because I get some comments from people who are just going off at me for never taking cheap rates and things like that. Well, like I said the other day, it's not that I never take cheap rates. We just took 99 cents a mile to get up to Minnesota. I take cheap rates all the time. But there's some logic to it for me, you know what I mean? So it's just, I guess my point is, I want to start finding ways to put context into what I'm sharing with everybody on YouTube. So the reason for bringing that up is, if you saw my video last night, or if you see some of my videos about this big breakdown issue, and we do have a significant issue with our truck, and it's cost us a lot of money. But to put it into context, if you're sitting here watching our videos and you're thinking, oh my God, I can't go lease, this is freaking me out. And I talk about these ups and downs and how you got to be prepared for, you know, the goods and the bads with leasing. So think about this for a second. Now, well, hold on, let me give you another thought. Like I said in my why I went lease and why I'll never go company video, with leasing, you have to be able to step back and see the big picture. If you need to live paycheck to paycheck and you need consistency and you don't want to have to save a little bit of money, leasing could be a tough go for you. Maybe you want to go company. But if you can step back and see the big picture and live month to month or quarter to quarter, you can make very good money with leasing. And I do make very good money with leasing, even though my truck's giving me the issues that it's giving me. So to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, in the last roughly 4.5 weeks, so just over a month, I've made $8,000. $2,000 a week, averaged out. That's with a week at home, 8 days actually, 8 or 9 days, with the truck being in the shop. And that's with that week included. $2,000 a week, $8,000. So after taxes, about $1,600 a week. You can't do that as a company driver. You can't go home for 8 or 9 days over the course of 4.5 weeks and still make $1,600 a week. You can't do that. I got a check last night, my paycheck was almost $5,000. Can't do that as a company driver. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of lease drivers, they'll look at this like, you know, 2 weeks ago I was home for a week and here I am gonna have to go back to Springfield and probably go back into the shop. And they focus on that time, like that downtime. They just let it drive them. You know, I saw some comments last night, Eric, you're so calm about this situation. Well, because it hasn't necessarily been breakdowns, but this has been the story since I've been leasing. Like there's ups and there's downs. And, you know, sometimes when it gets really down, we have to just step back and take a break and reset our minds. But the ups are always really good for us. So some drivers will just focus on those downs and they'll let them just completely dictate everything to them. You know, they'll be like, those 2 weeks, man, I didn't make any money. I went in the hole and, you know, it's bullshit. Screw this leasing thing. But they don't really, they're for some reason not able to focus on the fact that the 2 weeks prior to that, they made like $3,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? So when we share these instances with you, I don't want you to be discouraged from leasing with Prime. I just think it's very important to put it into context and understand that you can't base, you have to get out of the mentality of living paycheck to paycheck, week to week. Cannot be in that mentality because it will kick your ass. Because you'll get into a couple weeks where it just sucks. And if you just focus on those weeks and those downtimes and let that formulate your view of the experience, then you're gonna hate it. I just think that sometimes, if you ask me why I'm so calm in these situations, it's because I don't let myself build my view of the world around me based on the hard times. Because that's life, you know, there's always hard times, there's always struggles. So I like to step back and see the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is, even with a week at home, and even with this headlight issue, still made $8,000 in the last month, you know? So it would be easy for me to say, well, screw this, you know, every time I get on my feet, I'll have a really good week and a half, and then I'll get knocked down. I could just focus on life that way, but that's no way to live, guys. Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? You got your ups and your downs. I'm happy with our situation. I'm happy leasing. I'm happy that I made $8,000 in just over a month and still took a week off during that month. I love what I do. I love driving for Prime. I love leasing a truck. And outside of my damn headlight issue, I love my truck. So, anyway, don't let my situation discourage you. Some trucks are just kind of lemony. Some trucks have, you know, these problems. Some don't. Our Cascadia was in a shop lot. It didn't have a problem like this. It just happens. Like, you got to take the goods and the bads, the wins and the losses, and always step back and see the big picture. And if you can do that, you can remain positive and you can understand that you're still making good money. Just don't let yourself get upset that you're not making good money every single day, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, because that ain't gonna happen. So I just wanted to say this morning to make sure I don't want my subscribers, especially those of you in TNT, and I know there's a lot of you because we're text messaging, you know, we're on Discord talking together, and you're leaving your comments. I don't want you to take from my videos that you should be afraid to lease. Because like I just said, I still made $8,000 in the last month and a half. Now, if I didn't have these issues, could I have made more? Yeah, I could have made a lot more. But it's still pretty damn good money. And I didn't have to run hard. I wasn't running crazy miles. Actually, not at all. And it took, you know, it took over a week, a little over a week off. You can't do that as a company driver. Now, I'm not telling you not to go company either. There's a lot of good reasons to go company. I'm just telling you, don't be afraid to go lease. And please, don't let my channel discourage you from going lease. I preach lease. I love lease. I'm getting ready to buy a truck. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope that when we share this part of our lives, when we're transparent and sharing these struggles that we're going through, that I can start to provide a little more context and make sure that I'm helping you guys see the bigger picture too. Because with all its faults and headaches, it's still a great situation that I wouldn't trade for anything. I love it. We both love it. So hopefully you can take, you know, hopefully that brings it into a little more perspective for you. It looks like the sun's up enough where we can go ahead and get rolling. We got to take this 65 miles to this other load. So we lost a $3 a mile load last night. We had like 340 miles to go. Then this driver, Mike, brings me this load, which pays $2 a mile. So we get handed two really good paying loads and have to hand them off to other drivers. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. Even this shit, I freaking love it, guys. I really do. You gotta laugh, you know what I mean? It's all life. Life is pretty damn cool. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this update. Be safe out there. Make good decisions. And as always, drive to thrive. Talk to you soon.